Shalom Israel, Shalom family. This is BOW Bay Area, and we're doing a homesteading lesson today. And today we're going to be talking about the world, right? Whose world are you going to choose? Are you going to choose this world that we're living in right now, or are you going to choose the kingdom, right? This is a very important lesson, right? Not only because it's literally your salvation, but it's just something to harken onto. It's something to think about. What are you really going to choose, right? We only have this one life, right? And then we get judged. So let's just go into it. Like let's break it down real quick. Let's go to Mark 10 and let's start at verse 21.
Yeah. This is the book of Mark, chapter 10 and verse 21. Then Yahushua, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, One thing thou lackest, go thy way, sell whatsoever thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross, and follow me.
Okay, read.
And he was sad at the saying, and went away grieved, for he had great possessions. And Yahushua looked round about, and saith unto his disciples, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of God?
Read.
And the disciples were astonished at his words. But Yahushua answereth again, and saith unto them, Children, how hard is it for them that trust in riches to enter into the kingdom of God? It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God.
Okay, read.
And they were astonished out of measure, saying among themselves, Who can then be saved? And Yahushua, looking upon them, saith, With men it is impossible, but not with God, for with God all things are possible.
So right here, right, this is a story where a rich man is kind of like battling himself, thinking to himself, am I going to choose riches or am I going to choose the kingdom? And Jesus was saying it is harder. Matter of fact, let's go back to it. It said right here, right here. Hold up, let me go back right here. It is easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter to the kingdom of God. But at the same time, though, later it says, but God, all things are possible. So even though this rich man, it might take him a while to actually understand that you should choose the kingdom, but Jesus is saying, Yahweh Shai is saying that, but with Yahweh, but with the Father, all things are possible, right? So this is just a little story that Yahweh Shai had told and experienced, right? So he's pretty much letting us know, even Kanye West, a person that's a billionaire in our community, can still receive salvation, but it might be hard for Kanye, right? Even though Kanye is kind of woke and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You get the analogy, right? Now let's go to Matthew 4 real quick, and we can start from the top. You got it up.
This is Matthew 4 from the top. Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered.
Mm-hmm.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread.
Okay, so right now the tempter is really trying to get Yahweh Shai here. He's trying to be like, hey, you know it. You're the Son of God, right? You can change this stone into bread, right? But keep reading.
But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Mm-hmm.
Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
Read.
Yahushua said unto them, It is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
Okay, so Yahweh Shai is telling this tempter, right? Satan, he's telling him, hey, I'm not going to listen to you. The Most High said that, that I shouldn't tempt the Father, right? So I'm not going to listen to you. But let's keep reading. Let's see if Yahweh Shai folds, right, in this story. Keep reading.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Okay, so literally, imagine yourself, right? Imagine yourself, this tempter takes you up in a high skyscraper in New York City, right? Imagine, right? You're looking down on everything. The tempter is telling you how Shai, like, imagine, right? Hey, I can give you all of this. Imagine you see everything, right? If you just bow down and follow me. That's what the tempter is saying to Yahweh Shai. But what Yahweh Shai say?
And Yahweh Shai said unto him, then saith Yahweh Shai unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written that thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
And Yahweh Shai said, what are you talking about? I got to serve my Father. I got to serve the Most High God. I'm not going to worship you and bow down to you. I don't care if you're going to give me everything. I don't care, about anything in this world, right? Imagine the tempter, imagine the tempter took you up into the skyscraper, right? And you look down on everything. And you're like, nah, I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose the Father always. That's what Yahweh Shai did. Yahweh Shai chose the Father. He chose his creator more than everything in the world, right? And you could keep reading that.
Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Okay, that's it, right? So pretty much Yahweh Shai chose the Father, right? And this is the example that we should choose, right? We should choose the Father rather than the world, right? But let's go to another account. Let's go to Hebrews 11. Right? We're going to see someone else in the Bible that chose the Father rather than the world per se. Right? Let me get there real quick. Okay, now, you start from the top. Oh, no, that's like it. Start from verse 24.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, and verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Okay, right here. Moses was given the opportunity to be the Pharaoh's daughter's husband, right? But Moses said, man, I'd rather be afflicted with my people than to have everything, man. Than to have everything rule over, right? Because at the time, Egypt was the ruling class people. They were the so-called white man in the past world, right? In that era per se, right? But Moses, like he said, man, he said, choosing rather to suffer affliction with my people, with the people of God, than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Moses was like, nah, because I know that all these things in this world are temporary. All these things that sin, right? Sin, the pleasure of sin is not as good as, life with the Most High God, right? But keep reading.
Esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
So Moses had respect unto the recompense of the reward. He understood that following the Most High God was a greater reward than to just have temporary enjoyment of riches, right? Because he would have been crazy. Moses, bro, Egypt at the time was, these people, they was, what I'm saying. But Moses was like, nah, I'd rather be down and about with my people, serve my people, be there for my people, right? And that's what he did. Right, that's what he did. Right. Let's go to Mark 9. Go to Mark 9 real quick. Bible Kashab, let's get that. Let me get that. You can start at verse 42 when you got it.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 9, and verse 42. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone were hanged around his neck and he were cast into the sea.
Right.
And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. If it is better for thee to enter into life maimed, than have two hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched.
Right.
Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched, and if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter halt into life than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that will never be quenched. Where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.
Right.
And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of God with one eye than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell fire, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched.
Okay, so right here, right? All these things, we can use as a metaphor, right? Pretty much what Yahweh Shai is saying here is like, it's better for you to cut something off that's holding you back, like riches, like fame, glory. It's better to cut it off, right, than to have it, but go into a terrible judgment, right? To hell, to a bad state, right? We don't want to be the 2/3. You can have all the riches, the fame, and the glory, but be the 2/3. That's what Yahweh Shai is saying not to do. It's better for you to be poor, to not have as much things, but at the end of the day, receive salvation. So always choose the kingdom, not this world, not riches, not glory, not fame, right? That's pretty much the metaphor that Yahweh Shai is trying to say. Let's go to Matthew 6 real quick. Right. And you can read verse 24. Baba Kashah.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 24. No man can serve 2 masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon.
Okay, you can't have 2 masters, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm all for the world and I'm all for the kingdom. I'm all for the Bible. I'm all for Yahweh Shai, right? You can't be, you have to be one or the other. You have to be one or the other. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Oh, let me keep the Shabbat, right? I'm gonna go to class on Saturday. But every other day, you out and about, matter of fact, say, you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep the Shabbat this week. But you go to the club Friday night, turned up, buying drinks, fornicating at the club. But Saturday morning, you go to class. What is that? You're choosing both sides. No, choose one. You either choose to party and to fornicate all Friday night, or you get up early in the morning and preach the word of God Saturday, right? Choose one or the other. Let's go to James 1:8. And if you can, after you read James 1:8, pull it up on your phone and read the NLT for me, Baba Kashah.
You want me to just get the NLT one?
No, let's read both.
1:8.
Yeah, come on, let me get there real quick. We should all know this. We should all know this one too, family. But hold on. James is right before Hebrews, right? After Hebrews. There you go. You can get that.
This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So if you're choosing the world and God, you're unstable. You know, you can't choose sides, right? And I wanted to get the NLT because it kind of breaks it down a little more, right, in the NLT. So I wanted to bring that out. When you got it out, you can read it. You know, oh yeah, this one right here.
That's all.
Oh, okay, it's good. Okay, but yeah, like I was saying, a double-minded man is unstable, right? Because if you're juggling both lives, it's like living two lives, right? It's like living two lives. You can't live two lives, man.
This is the book of James. Oh my bad. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Like I was saying, you gotta live one or the other, man. You can't choose, or you can't choose both, right? You can read it out.
This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 8 in the NLT. Their loyalty is divided between God and the world.
Their loyalty is divided between God and the world. You can't choose both. They're unstable. That person that chooses both is unstable, right? Keep reading.
And they are unstable in everything they do.
And they're unstable in everything they do, right? So if you're going to the club, like I said, like Friday night, fornicating, popping bottles, buying everything, you know, doing whatever, man, that you're not supposed to do Friday night because it's a Shabbat. Man, just, bro, if you're doing that, man, just go, just do it. Don't hide it. Don't be like, hey, yo, brothers, yeah, no, I was keeping the Shabbat Friday, you know, to the brothers that you see on Saturday. Choose one or the other, right? Because if not, you're unstable. And if not, you're just lying to your brothers if you do that, right? You just got to pick, man, we got to pick Yahweh always, right? But let's move on. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 21. Right, read it when you got it, Doc.
(10 and 21).
Okay.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 21. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the and of the table of devils.
So this is kind of a precept to Matthew 6, right? You can't have two masters. You can't drink of the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils, right? You got to choose one. You got to choose one. That's just a little precept, right? One thing too, like I noted this. You can't be two polar opposites. Then you're bipolar. You can't be both. That's you know, what the Bible say, a false balance is an abomination.
An abomination to the Lord.
Right. So you can't choose both.
Take the precept.
Yeah, you bring it out.
Okay. So give me Proverbs 1 and verse 10.
Okay, come on.
Just to go more to your point about one being lukewarm and also wanting to do stuff that's in the world, because we can't do that.
Okay, this is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
Keep going.
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause.
Keep going.
Let us swallow them up alive as the grave and whole, as those that go down into the pit.
So what that's telling you is that you gotta escape from these ways of the world. And when you and see, this is a thing that people, you know, we have to live in a realm of reality. We're not in the kingdom yet, so we're going to be around a lot of worldly people more than we'd like to be. And there's going to come times where you're going to be enticed by that, you're going to be tempted by that, but do not intermingle and begin to start living in sin again. And you see what I mean? Don't let them cause you to sin and to go off, because ultimately you're going to get paid for it, because now that you have the truth, you know better. You know what I mean? So don't entice sinners. You know, that's a good way to be going back and being worldly. So and then I'm gonna yield with that one.
Beautiful point, Doc. You know, you can't let these people that you're around overtake you. You know, that's like you folding when the tempter is around. You know, you got to be like Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai didn't fold when the tempter was telling him you're gonna have everything. You know, we just got to choose Yahweh, and that's always. Let's go to Revelations 3. Let's get to that lukewarm, man. Revelations 3 and 16. Let's see what happens to when you're lukewarm. Let's see the judgment.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth.
Man, he said, I will spew you out. He's going to spew us out if we're lukewarm. What does the Bible say when, what does the Bible say the heathen is? He's like, he's
spittle.
Unto spittle. Unto spittle, right? So if we're lukewarm, we're pretty much unto spittle. We're pretty much just like the heathen, man.
I'm gonna spit you right out.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. But yeah, let's move on from that. Let's go to James 4:4. Bring it out when you got it.
This is the book of James, chapter 4 and verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
So do you want to be an enemy of God? Do you want to be an enemy of the most powerful being ever? Of course not. So if you're friends with the world, you got a problem. You got a real enemy. You know, forget the enemies in the world and the streets. You're going to have a real enemy with the creator. So don't follow these traditions of the world. Don't cleave unto these ways, because it's gonna throw you into a path that you don't want to be in. Right. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get a precept to Jeremiah 3, right? Because it said ye adulterers and ye adulteresses, right? What does that mean? Let's get there. Let's go to Jeremiah 3 real quick. And read verse 6 when you got it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 6. The Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot.
Man, Israel played the harlot. That's why in James 4:4 it says, ye adulterers and ye adulteresses. We're following other gods, right? The adulterers and adulterers is twofold. It could actually mean you being adulterer, but also mean you worshiping other gods and you choosing the world rather than the Most High, right? Because that's what's really happening. When we choose the world, we're committing spiritual adultery, because we're the bride, right? Or we're not the bride, but we are in a covenant with the Most High God, right? And if we break that covenant, then we're being harlots, we're being adulterers. Just like if you break if you break the covenant with your husband by having sex with another man's wife, then that's just what it is, right? It's kind of like the same thing, right? But keep reading down. Read down to verse 8.
I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went out and played the harlot also.
Right. So this is talking about all 12 tribes here, right? James was talking about all 12 tribes. So I just wanted to harken on that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 8 and 50. Right. Let's go there. Turn to the Apocrypha, fam. 2nd Esdras chapter 8 and verse 50. Bring it out when you got it, all right?
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
So great miseries are going to happen to us if we dwell in this world, right? If we hearken into the things of this world, because we walked in great pride, right? Let's go to Philippians 3 and 18. Right. Let's go here.
Philippians 3 and 18.
God. Bring it on when you got it out.
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 3, and verse 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Hamashiach,
Read.
whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things.
Man, so you're an enemy of God if you mind earthly things. I'm just grabbing all the precepts together. The Most High is saying, hey, if you're gonna be going through great miseries, you're gonna be going through weeping, you're gonna be my enemy if you mind earthly things, if you care about this world more than you care about him. It's just simple, it's as simple as that. What are you gonna choose, family? And this is what we really got to think about. Because sometimes it may be harder, it's easier said than done, right? It really is easier said than done. The Bible even says, hate thy father, hate thy mother, hate thy brother and sister, right? Before Yahweh Shai, before Yahweh. We gotta love him more than we love everything that he created. That's simple. It's that simple, family. But let's go to 1 John 2:15. Let's get that real quick. This was the first Bible verse I learned while reading the Bible.
You said 1 John
2:15 and 16. Both verses. All right. Bring it on when you got it.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
The love of the Father is not in him if you love the world. It's kind of like, it's just polar opposites, right? It's polar opposites, man. You can't have two masters. You can't drink of the cup of devils and the cup of the Lord, right? Keep reading now.
Verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
It is of the world. What we read in 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50, it says, because they have walked in great pride. We go through great misery because we walked in great pride. It says the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life isn't of the Father, but is of the world. So that pride is of the world, it's not of the Father. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. Now let's go to John 15:18. Let's go back real quick. Let's go back, family. Follow along, man. We're just going through a little roller coaster. We're cruising. Right. Bring it on when you got it out.
This is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
So if the world hates you for following the Most High, know that it hated Yahweh Shai first. Know that. So even if, you're thinking to yourself, man, it's hard. What is my family going to say? What are my friends going to say? Right? Forget that. Forget what they say. Forget their opinion. Because Yahweh Shah was like, man, the world hated me before it hated you, bro. I know you can endure because I'm going through it. Right? I'm going through it. So just follow my lead.
And look, let's read verse 19 too, because it harps a little bit more on it. It says, if ye were of the world would love his own. Because if you partake in these ways of the world is going to love you. They're going to accept you. They're going to look at you as one of them.
Right.
But because ye are not of this world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. The minute you begin to do different, keep the commandments, you begin to stray away from being wicked and being of this world, then people are going to start to look at you crazy. They're going to start to be like, oh, what's he on? You know what I'm saying? And that's where it comes. What are you going to choose? You're going to choose to be a part of the world, or you're going to choose to walk in the ordinances of the Heavenly Father. So
like that. 1, 2, 3, right? Beautiful point. Let's go to Sirach 33. Let's go to Sirach 33. This is a scripture where it kind of like, makes everything make sense. Like why did God make things the way things are?
right?
Yeah, 33 and read verse 14 and 15 when you got it. Yep.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 14. Good is set up against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another.
There's the Most High God made everything like yin and yang, a perfect balance, good and evil, right? That's why we gotta choose the Most High. Because if we don't choose the Most High, automatically you're gonna choose evil. You're gonna choose the world. You're gonna choose the things that He told us not to choose. Right? It's a perfect balance, though, right? Like how we brought out Proverbs 11. A false balance is an abomination. There's a balance, but we gotta choose that right balance, right? I just wanted to bring that out because that's the reason why everything is right, how it works and everything, right? Let's go to Matthew 7. Let's go to Matthew 7 real quick. This is a good one too, man. Y'all probably know this one. It's 13 and 14. Bring it out when you got it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13. Enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
So narrow is the way to the kingdom. That's just simple. Narrow is the way, but broad is the way to destruction. This world, right? Like how we were bringing it out. Most of the people in our lives are still in the world. So that's kind of like the broad gate that the Most High doesn't want us to go. But narrow is the gate. This truth is the gate. Following the laws, statutes, and commandments is the gate to the way to truth, to life. So that's what we got to do, family. We got to follow this narrow path, this path that may seem, hard at first, may seem difficult, but it's gonna lead you to the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. You know what I'm saying? In layman terms. Let's move on. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 1. 1 Corinthians 1. Let's bring that out. And I want verse 26.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1 and verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Okay, so God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Right? Just harken on that. Keep reading.
But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, and base things of the world and things which are despised hath God chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
So right here, pretty much what Paul is saying here, God is testing us. The Most High is testing us. But I want to kind of harken on this real quick, right? He said, what he said right here, and things which are despised, God had chosen. Who are despised in this world? The Israelites, right? We're despised. Yet things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, and vice versa, right? Vice versa. It goes both ways, right? I wanted to bring out Deuteronomy 7:6, right? Let's get that real quick. Let's get that, man, because I also gotta, let our people know that there's hope. That we're not just blacks and Hispanics. That we're not just border hoppers and thugs and gangsters and stuff like that. We more than that. We more than that. Let's get that Deuteronomy 7, man. Let's get this real quick. You can bring it out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Uh-huh.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself,
Okay.
above all the people that are upon the face of the earth.
So we are a special people above. It's like my bad. I don't got this. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? That's us. And God had chosen us, the despised people, right? And God had chose the wicked to rule the world. So it's kind of like both ways, man. It's vice versa. A perfect balance, yin and yang, just like that Sirach 33, right? But you can keep reading.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, saith the Lord, brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, right, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Okay, Khan. So you get the point. We weren't chosen because we was just better than everyone else. The Most High God chose us because he had made a promise with our forefathers, right? That's pretty much the gist of it, right? We know that blacks and Hispanics are Israelites, so just hearken to that. We special, family. We special. Like I said, we're not just these bywords and proverbs, right? We're more than that. Let's get Tobit, chapter 4. Tobit chapter 4, family. Second book of the Apocrypha, right? Yeah, okay. Get that. 21.
Tobit 1 and 21?
4:21.
Mm-hmm. 4 and 21?
Mm-hmm. Read it when you got it.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 21. And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth, if thou fear God, and depart from all sin, and do that which is pleasing in his sight.
So if we fear Yahweh, we'll get much wealth, right? And it's tough because in this world, we're told this fantasy, like, oh, you can do whatever, follow the American dream, right? But of course, in America, we're getting judged. We're following these curses that are in Deuteronomy 28. We're going through it. But if we fear Yahweh, we'll get much wealth, right? Not only like in this world, because if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, we could get right, in this world. But it's more importantly, spiritually. We'll get much wealth spiritually and hopefully in the kingdom, right? So what we have to do, family, is fear Yahweh. That's how we get these. That's how we get right. That's how we not, always think about the world and think about what you can lose. Just lose what you got to lose and follow Yahweh. That's always. But the only way we can do that is we fear. Right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. And you can read, start at verse 8.
You said 5 and 8?
Yeah, kind of.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 8. What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us?
This is King Solomon talking. Listen and hear what King Solomon, the richest man, said. Read that again now.
What hath pride profited us?
Uh-huh.
Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us?
What has boasting about our riches brought us? What is posting on your Instagram with 20s and hundreds gonna bring us? That ain't gonna do nothing. That's all vain. The Most High don't care about that, right? Does the Most High care about me buying the new Jordans every week? No, right?
Not at all.
No, right. Does he care about us, flexing the Class A Azul bottles when we go out? No, of course not. Or the 1942? Of course not. Us vaunting, us boasting our riches hasn't profited us nothing. And that's the richest man that ever lived. The richest man that ever lived, ever, is saying that. What have riches brought me? Hearken unto that. Because if we can't do what the richest man ever did, man, what are we doing? Right? King Solomon, man, he was like a trillionaire, right?
$2.1 trillion to be exact.
2.1 trillion air, bro. Man, think about that, family. Let's read verse 9 though.
Verse 9. And it reads, all those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasted by.
So the things of this world will pass away like a shadow. That's pretty much what it's saying, right? It's crazy how much people care about, their riches here rather than their riches in the kingdom, right? And this is the richest man that ever lived. His words. This is his words. He's saying, man, what have all my gold brought me? Right? A navy, right? He had a navy. Yeah. He had a temple, right?
He had all the gold. He had everything. He had,
But he only cared about his wisdom.
Yeah, God. That's why the Most High gave him all that, because that's all he asked for was wisdom.
Right.
And I got a precept.
Bring it up.
For that. This is Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 19.
Okay.
And it reads, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. Right. So you're the silver and gold. When it's all said and done, when it's time for the Most High to come collect, bro, your silver, your gold, your money, it's not going to save you. It's not going to save you. It's not going to profit you in the day of the Lord. So,
right, man. Simple as that, man. Everything that you have in this world is vain to the Most High. It's like it don't mean nothing, right? It don't. Right. All this is temporary, right? Verse 9 says, all things are passed away like a shadow. Even this world, even the sun, everything. The only thing that's everlasting is pretty much Yahweh Shai, and then the people that are going to be saved. Right, that's it. Let's go to Proverbs 27. Let's kind of hearken into that a little bit. Proverbs 27. Let's get that real quick. And bring out verse 24 about the shot.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and verse 24. For riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure to every generation?
So riches aren't forever, right? That's just the reality, right? And doth the crown endure to every generation? That's a question. Why do you think that's a question? The reason why it's a question is because no people, no nation, no king has been everlasting. The only person is Yahweh Shai, but he's not of this world. He's higher than us, right? He's higher than us. But in this world, even Israel, we lost our crown. What happened with the northern kingdom? Every king in the northern kingdom was wicked, and that's why they fell. King Ahab, man, he got killed by an arrow, right? She went pop right through him. Bro. That's why King Solomon, he's saying, man, dude, all this is temporary, man. Don't dwell in these things. Don't. Right? And that's just what the message is, right? Let's go to 1 Timothy real quick. All right. First Timothy chapter 6. Let's First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17 when you got it out.
First Timothy 6 and 17. This is the book of First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God,
Read.
who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
So it said, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God. We got to trust in Yahweh rather than uncertain riches. What is uncertain riches? You know, gambling, shooting dice to get your next meal. Bro, are you going to trust in shooting dice to get your next meal, or are you going to trust in Yahweh to make you get your next meal? Right? Who are you going to trust? Uncertain riches gambling to pay rent? Or are you going to trust in Yahweh to pay your rent? Right? That's something you got to think about, family. Right? Now let's move on, right? Let's go to Matthew 6 real quick. All these things, you know, and this lesson is for myself too. Don't get me wrong, fam. Don't think that I'm, you know, the most perfect being or this brother is perfect either. No. We got to think about these questions too.
We all in the same boat, man, trying to get it right.
There you go.
So trying to make it to the kingdom. So
there you go. That's why I'm really harking onto this, because this applies to all people. Everybody, right? But let's get that Matthew 6 real quick. And verse start at verse 19.
19, okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Right. So, you know, matter of fact, read that last part.
But lay up for
after through nor steal.
Oh, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Right. That's important. That's important right there. Yahweh Shai is saying, don't lay up your treasures here on earth. Try to lay them up in heaven. But right here it said, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Ooh, man. Think about that. If you're putting all your time into this world, trying to get rich, trying to get like Andrew Tate, you know, that really ain't going to get you nowhere. You know, you got to lay up your riches spiritually. Right? That's what really matters. That's what really matters. Because if we're just trying to get rich and that's our only goal in life, that's committing idolatry. Right? Because we care about money more than Yahweh. Right? Am I wrong?
Nah, you spot on. Can I get a precept to add to that?
Yeah,
too?
Get that.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 2. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. So you gotta focus on things that are up there. You know what I'm saying? Things that come from the Most High, because what the Most High gives you, nobody can take away.
There you go. So there you go, man. Simple as that, right? Let's go to Titus real quick. Let's go to Titus 2. Like I said, family, like I gotta, you know, look over these precepts too. Right? This is not something that I'm not necessarily, you know, what I'm trying to say is that, like the brother said, we're all in the same boat. You know, we got to think about these questions every single day, right? But one thing that, you know, I do have to tell myself every day is fear Yahweh. That's the first thing. We got to fear Yahweh. We got to fear our Creator. Because if we don't, man, shoot, man, we're gonna be in a place that we're not gonna want to be in, right? It's too slack. Let me get there real quick. It's right before Timothy, right? What was it at? I forget where this book is at.
said Titus what?
Titus 2.
It's right before Philemon.
Okay, right before Philemon. I got you. Yeah, Titus 2 and 11. Start at 11.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live so soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
Okay, so right here, the grace of God should teach us, Lakia, that denying ungodliness and worldly lust should bring us salvation. That's the grace of God. It's gonna bring us that what's that word? Not conviction. That you can say conviction, but that righteous judgment, right? The grace of God is gonna teach us that, man, forget these worldly things, right? Forget these things, because at the end of the day, if we do so, we're gonna get that salvation. Read on though. Read on to verse 13.
Looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works.
And that's how you know it's talking about Israel instead of peculiar people, right? This is talking about us, right? And just to further substantiate that, go to Deuteronomy 14 real quick. That Deuteronomy 14 will tell us that the people that, that Paul is telling to the Titus, it's talking about us, for real. For real. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how, like, the Bible is just, it's just like one book, man, that just connects, man. It's a mystery for real, but yeah, you can bring it out. It's like 14 and 2.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth.
Right. So right there, peculiar people. That's Israel, right? That's Israel, right? This peculiar people in the New Testament, these quote unquote Gentiles, right, which we know are Israelites, is Israel, right? But we were just lost at the time. We didn't know where we was. We didn't know what we was doing. That's why, Paul had to write all these letters. But let's move on. Let's go to 2 Maccabees real quick. Let's go to the Apocrypha. 2 Maccabees chapter 5. All right. I like this one, man. When I read this, I was like, damn, like this is crazy. But it's the truth. It's the truth, man.
5 and
19. Bring it on when you got it.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 5 and verse 19. Nevertheless, God did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake.
Did y'all catch that? Did you catch that? What is that trying to say?
It's basically trying to say that he didn't make us for the earth. He made the earth for us.
Then why the hell are we choosing the world? If the Most High God had made the world for us, why are we still thinking we got to choose the world to be successful? No. Choosing Yahweh will make us have all these things. Forget the world. Choose Yahweh so you can get it. Don't choose the world so, later on you can go into eternal damnation. No, man. It's like, come on, family. Like, the Bible is so plain. It's literally telling you the cheat codes to life. Choose Yahweh so Yahweh can give you everything. That's it. Maybe not in this world. You might not get everything here, but you might get in, for sure, get it in the kingdom. Right? And to hearken unto that, let's go to Psalms 2 and 8. Psalms 2 and 8, man. Yahweh didn't make this world. He didn't make us for the world. Hell no. He didn't make us for the heathen. Right? He didn't make us for the heathen. Of course not. He made the heathen for us. We're going to get that in Psalms chapter 2.
This is the book of Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
So he made the world for us, and he made the heathen for us. Right? Man, that's cold. That's cold, fam. Y'all probably haven't read this verse in the Bible. He made the world for Israel. So why are we still choosing the world, family? Why are we still choosing to party Friday nights on the Shabbat? Right? Man, our people going off, man, right? People going off. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 6. Right? We went over this. We kind of talked about it earlier in this lesson, but let's get it to solidify what we're trying to say here, right? The message that Yahweh was trying to bring out, right?
2nd Ezra 6.
Yeah, and get 55. Bring it on when you got it.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
No, he made the world for the heathen's sake.
For our sakes.
He made the world for who?
For our sakes.
For our sakes. Who is ours? Israel. He made the world for our sakes. It's kind of just like that, family. Right? So it's crazy because in reality, the world should be chasing us because we're the salt of the world. We're the light. But what are we doing? We're doing the total opposite. We're chasing the world when the world was given for us. Man, think about that. Think about what you're going to get if you follow Yahweh and fear Yahweh, our creator. Man, he told us the reward. He said, if you do this, you'll get that. But he also told us the consequences if we choose the wrong thing. Man, we just got to choose right. Let's get that. Let's choose right. Let's get that Deuteronomy 30. Let's get the law. Right. Let's get the law. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 19.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
So he said, choose life. Did he say choose death? Or choose the cursings?
He said choose life.
He said choose life, that your seed may live. Because if we choose death, then our seed is going to die as well. Right? If we keep eating pork, right, we're going to, not only will we give ourselves diseases and we're going to be unhealthy, but our kids are probably going to be the same. And it's just going to pass down generation to generation. Right? We got to choose life. And we know that life is Yahweh Shai. We know that life is in this word. Right? The Most High God is telling us to choose life. Now let's go to let me see. I'm thinking of a precept. It's like it's all good. Let's go to Jeremiah 29. This is gonna be the last one, family. This is gonna be the last one. Right. Let's get to Jeremiah 29.
29, man.
13. Bring it up.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29 and verse 13. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart.
So if we seek the Most High God, right, we'll find him. That's just simple. If we seek the Most High God, he's going to find us and give us the answers that we need. Right. You can read verse 14 though.
Verse 14, and I will be found of you, saith Yahweh, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith Yahweh, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive.
So he's gonna, man, this could be twofold too. But what verse 14 is trying to say is like, if you seek me, I will bring you back to Jerusalem. Right? He said, I will take you away from captives into the place that you were taken from. Where were we taken from, family?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. So he said, if you follow me, if you seek me, I'll bring you back.
Gone.
Man.
Let me get a precept to harp on that, right?
Yeah.
This is the catch to it, right?
There you go.
This is Isaiah 55:6. It says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
Wow.
Call ye upon him while he is near. Because there's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to do that. Yeah. You see what I mean? So it's going to come a time where you're going to call him and it's going to be like, well, look, I gave you that grace time. It's over. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to run out of your grace. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we do a lot of things that push the Most High to wrath. And if truth being said, a lot of us, well, not even a lot of us, all of us don't even deserve to be in this truth because we've done a lot of things contrary to the Most High. But what happened? He gave us the blueprint. We sought the Most High while he was able to be found. Right. And what happened? The change began to start happening. So seek the Lord while he may be found, because there will come a time where he's not going to be able to be found and he's not going to hear you. You see what I mean? Because it's going to come a time where, like how Noah, when he got on the ark, the door was sealed. It's going to come a time where it's just going to be a spiritual seal this time and he's not going to hear you no more. So let's seek the Lord while he may be found.
Man, right. Matter of fact, let's get that 10 virgins. Write the story of the 10 virgins real quick. Where's that at? Because that's literally what you were saying is that's what the 10 virgins is going into. You know, man, I forget what chapter. Let me look it up real quick. Ten virgins. Matthew 25. Yeah. Let's go to Matthew 25 from the top.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. And this is Matthew 25 from the top. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
Okay.
And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish.
Okay. Hey, listen, family. So 5 were cool, right? But 5 were also foolish too. Why is that, right? You gotta read, right? Let's go on.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Okay, because what happened? They weren't ready. They weren't, they weren't prepared. They were like, let me take my time with this, right? Matter of fact, let me keep the Shabbat next week, right? Right. That just for an example, right? Keep reading.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps.
Right. But the wise was like, no, we're keeping the Shabbat this week. What are you talking about? Right. Keep reading.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. Mm-hmm. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Right. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves.
Keep reading.
And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut.
Right.
And the virgins came also. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily, I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods.
Okay, right. So the gist of the story. We gotta stay prepared now, right? We can't be procrastinating. We can't be slothful. We got to get this truth now. We got to start hearkening to the word now, right? We got to seek Yahweh now, not later, because that time might run out, right? Just like how the bridegroom was like, nah, let me take my 5 wives. Forget y'all. Y'all wasn't ready. Y'all really didn't love me. Because if they really loved the bridegroom, they would have been ready for him. Just like our people, right? So hearken on that, family. Go over these precepts. But essentially what we're trying to say is that, and not even me or Matazah, what the Bible, what Yahweh Shai is saying here is follow the Father rather than these riches, rather than man, rather than the creation, right? But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this this lesson, family. If you have any comments, questions, comment down below, and hit us up, all right? But until next time,
Shalom.
Shalom.